All right. Now say we don't want to use just, solid colors like this. We don't have to. Let's make a selection of the actual tauntaun. I'm on my midtones layer, I'm grabbing my magic wand, and I'm selecting. Holding down the Shift key and selecting around to get all of his little bits and pieces. I think most of that is there's probably like a little butt. Whoop. Let's deselect that. Zoom in a little bit. Yeah, there's like just this tiny little piece right there. Don't worry if you miss a tiny little piece because you can go back in and fix it very, very easily. So you could add just an overall gray or blue to this, or green, I don't care. You can do whatever color you want. Or you could add a gradient. So with that area selected on the midtones layer, let's go over to our gradient tool, which is G. And up at the top, you'll see that the last gradient is up there. And that gradient is being created from the foreground and background color. So I'm going to click directly on that to open up my gradient editor. And you'll see lots of presets, lots of photographic toning, things like that. But what I want to do is I want to make my own. So I'm just going to pick any one that you want. And let's see, I'm just going to pick this one at the top here. Click on the bottom. The bottom stop is the color. And for the color, I'm going to click here, go over into my swatches, and select a blue, and hit OK. Now I'm going to go to my white, click in this color to change the color, and go over and pick kind of a light blue. Now if it's not exactly the color I want, I can also adjust it here, and click OK. If I want to add a third color, I can do that by clicking anywhere along the bottom of the gradient, just by clicking and adding a stop. So maybe the color of that, let's see, maybe I could add a little bit of orange. I'm not sure about that color combination. Maybe adding a blue and hit OK. That blue is a little too saturated. I'm going to pull that back a little bit, cool it down. Okay. So now you can see I've got kind of a cool looking gradient that's going to give this tauntaun a feeling of roundness. So I'm going to name it T-A-U-N, T-A-U-N, and hit new. So now I have my tauntaun, and hit OK. It's up here, it's loaded. With the selection already made, you're going to drag the cursor from the top, from the front to the back, or top to the bottom, bottom to top, Command D, and I think that looks pretty beautiful, right? It's a different way of doing it. You can do it all solid colors. I have no problem with that, right? Or you can experiment with making gradients. And if you click in here, you'll see now that you, accidentally made two, you can at any point edit tauntaun. Say you're like, well, I need a darker color here, so I'm just going to make a new, I want it to be a little darker like that. So that's my new tauntaun. You can move these around. If you accidentally make too many, grab them and pull down. Pull down, pull down, pull down, and pull down, okay? If you want an opacity stop, opacity stops go at the top. So if you want one here, you can change the opacity of that. So let's try that again. Let's select, grab the magic wand, and maybe we just select this. And then with the gradient, which is G, we could add that in there. So you can absolutely play with downloading swatches from Cooler and then making your own gradients in here. And if you want to save them, Just name them. Tauntaun 2. I hit new, and you'll see it pops right up. If you hit save, it's going to save all of your gradients, and then you could export them and take them home. Okay? So how's that? That's pretty fun, yeah? Okay. So it is up to you on how you choose to color it, but I would like to see you experiment with different selection tools. And all your selection tools are up here. I think for this project, Quick Select, excuse me, and Magic Wand work very well, but you can also do things with the Lasso tool if they're little things. Or let me show you the magnetic Lasso tool real quick. This is kind of cool. You click and then click every once in a while and it lays down a selection. You can see how it lays down the points. And then to finish that selection, you need to go back to the first and a little circle will appear. And then you have a selection. So you can also use the magnetic lasso. I think that works pretty well. It had a feather on it, a 5 though, and that did not work well. I don't want a feather on it. So the magnetic lasso tool, let me show you the tool that is going to drive you to drink crazy. This tool's going to drive you crazy. This is the tool. I used it this weekend. Okay, it's the polygonal tool. Yeah, you know this tool. You've heard of it, yeah? So you grab it. Thank you, Camtasia. And you start. Oh, all right, how hard can this be? I'm clicking, dragging and clicking, dragging and clicking, dragging and clicking. Drag, click, drag, click, drag, click, drag, click. Uh-oh, I gotta drag, click. I gotta go back, but it can't. Well, typically, what happens is this. And you're like, oh my God, I can't. It won't stop. You think it'll stop. Literally, it won't stop. You can't make it. The only thing you can do is accept defeat, double click, and Command D to get out of it. Okay? So that one's really tricky, but I think you should experiment with all of them. Okay? All right, Command S to save, and let's get started.